Thank you, Riaz. Good morning. Police and fire investigators are looking into what sparked an overnight blaze in Coquitlam that has left 2 people dead. Greg Harper joins us from the scene now with the latest. Greg?
Jody, this fatal house fire happened just behind us here. You could see behind me there's a blue tarp on some foliage there in the front yard, and behind that is a blue RCMP tent. This is all part of the investigation. This fire happened at the rear of the home. Firefighters were called here just after midnight after receiving a call from a neighbor. When they arrived, flames and smoke could be seen coming from the rear of the home. They made an aggressive entrance, and they eventually discovered the bodies of a man and woman in an upstairs room. We don't know the names of the victims, and the cause of this fire, that is unknown at this time too. That investigation is ongoing. That is all the information we have so far here this morning. As soon as I get more information, we will give you that update. Again, though, the bodies of a man and woman have been discovered in this home. There was a fire here just after midnight. This is a home on Cottonwood Avenue in Coquitlam. Jody?
All right, thank you very much. Greg Harper reporting for us this morning from Coquitlam. Richmond RCMP are warning the public about the dangers of jaywalking after a fatal accident in the city. A 58-year-old woman has died after being hit by a vehicle on Westminster Highway near Garden City. Police say she was jaywalking when she was hit by the TELUS truck. The driver stayed at the scene to cooperate with investigators. Speed is not believed to have been a factor in the accident. 2 Surrey residents accused of planning to bomb the BC legislature in Victoria on Canada Day are expected to appear in court this morning. John Nuttall and Amanda Karate are making their second appearance, that is, each facing 3 charges. Those charges are knowingly facilitating a terrorist activity, making or possessing an explosive device, and conspiracy to place an explosive device with the intent to cause death or injury. Nuttall's lawyer says the 2 have not yet entered pleas. The couple allegedly left pressure cooker bombs outside the legislature, similar to those used at the Boston Marathon. 5 members of the United Nations gang have pleaded guilty to conspiring to murder the Bacon brothers who led the Red Scorpions. 2 other United Nations members are still wanted by police. The plot came during the height of the local gang war between 2008 and 2009. Jonathan Bacon was killed in Kelowna 2 years ago, while Jared and Jamie Bacon are both currently behind bars. Sentencing hearings for the UN members are expected to last 2 days. Port Moody police are facing allegations of excessive force. A video shot over the weekend shows an officer taking a man down outside a pub. The suspect had been involved in a disagreement with staff, but he says he was cooperating with police and the aggression came out of nowhere. He has filed a complaint and Port Moody police have launched an internal investigation. Voters head to the polls for a by-election in Westside Kelowna tomorrow as Premier Christy Clark sets her sights on a seat in the BC legislature. Clark lost her Vancouver seat in May's provincial election, but she has been given a chance to represent the Okanagan after Liberal MLA Ben Stewart stepped aside. More than 5,700 people have already cast ballots. Clark's main opponent is New Democrat candidate Carol Gordon. Toronto is facing the giant task of cleaning up one of the heaviest downpours in the city's history. More than a month's worth of rain fell yesterday afternoon in just a few hours. Water rose so quickly on some highways that drivers were forced to abandon their vehicles. A commuter train was stranded on flooded tracks, trapping 1,400 passengers for about 7 hours as police crews ferried them to higher ground in small inflatable boats. The storm also caused massive power outages that are not fully resolved as of this morning. Dozens of people are still unaccounted for in Lac-Mégantic in Quebec, where the death toll from a weekend train derailment has now climbed to 13. Investigators are able to reach the site of Saturday's massive explosion, where they're expected to find more fatalities. Experts are trying to determine the status of the brakes on the runaway train, which had been left running and unattended leading up to the derailment. All right, it is 6:35, and breaking his media silence since the trade of Corey Schneider, Roberto Luongo spoke to a local radio station about his role in the World Series of Poker main event in Las Vegas, but of course, he also talked a little bit of hockey.
You got a new coach there. Is it bizarre that him and Torts switched spots?
Yeah, it is bizarre. You don't really see that very often. Obviously, there's coaching changes that happens always in the NHL, but to see 2 coaches swap teams like that, couldn't have thought of a better trade.
So not too much revealed in the interview, as Luongo wanted to focus on the poker discussion. Luongo was back up last season and is now expected to be the #1 choice for the position again. He has 9 years and $40.5 million left on his 12-year contract. That's your brief look at sports. It is 6:36. Let's check in on the roads. Michelle?